We were thrilled when Michael Hidalgo agreed to join us to talk about something that he practices better than anyone we know. Pulling from scientific research, faith, and psychology, Michael has put together a case for how gratitude is one of the essential things that can change the entire ethos of our inner and outer lives if we put it into practice. As more and more studies come out about the benefits of gratitude, from actually changing how our brains process information to improving our mood and resiliency, what Michael has to say just might have a direct impact on how we chase joy and meaning in life. He's a husband, a dad to 3, and an author, and I can't wait for you to hear what simple but profound ideas he has about the work of gratitude. Here is Michael Hidalgo.
In the Christian scriptures, the Apostle Paul gives one command over and over in his letters to the churches: practice gratitude. To the church in Ephesus, he writes, "Give thanks to God for everything." In Thessalonians, "Rejoice always, pray continually, and give thanks in all circumstances." In Colossians, "Be thankful. Give thanks to God through Jesus." In his letter to the Philippians, a letter composed while he was in prison, he speaks of gratitude constantly. One commentator notes that although he was in chains, it is his most positive and joy-filled of all his letters. Paul's constant instruction to practice gratitude, to give thanks, points toward the fact that we as humans need to be reminded. Because gratitude is not something that comes naturally. Gratitude is a discipline. It's something we need to practice because there are many barriers to gratitude. One barrier comes in the midst of tough seasons. Maybe you are experiencing a hard situation, or you're walking with a loved one through a difficult time, or you just read the news and you learned of another tragedy. And you hear the idea of practicing gratitude and you think, seriously? Are you kidding me at this moment? This is why I say gratitude is a discipline. Another barrier is believing gratitude will come sometime down the road, when we get a new job, when we are in a new relationship, when we are in a new living situation. This suggests gratitude is based on our circumstances, and gratitude will come when our circumstances change. But remember, gratitude is a discipline. Gratitude invites us to squeeze every last possible drop from the present, to see what we do have right here, right now. Gratitude is something we have to learn and something we need to practice no matter where you are in this moment, no matter your present circumstances. What we are learning in our world today, what ancient sages and wisdom teachers like Paul have long said, is that we ought to practice gratitude. And doing this has tremendous power for us and our world. I say this because gratitude leads us to face reality in a way few things can. While Paul spoke of gratitude, he was keenly aware of his suffering. In the midst of hardship, he resolved to be thankful, and his life was marked by pain. He was stoned, shipwrecked, beaten, flogged, imprisoned, hungry, thirsty, naked, fearing for his life. And in all of it, he praises God. It's almost like gratitude for Paul was an act of Christian defiance. Even in the face of suffering, he still chose to say, "Thank God. None of this is going to break me to the point where I cannot say thank you." This points to the fact that gratitude is not a denial of suffering or of circumstances. Rather, it forces us to take inventory of our lives and our world. I wonder then, what if we purposed every day to state or write down or tweet or post the things for which we are thankful? What would happen? Well, science is teaching us a few things that will happen if we choose to do this. First, it would benefit us at the neurological level. In September 2015, the Department of Psychology at the University of Southern California performed research on the human brain, specifically our moral cognition and positive emotions associated with gratitude. And what they discovered was amazing. They invited participants to join the study and began by measuring an emotional baseline in the brain of the participants. Then they took them through gratitude exercises, and then they measured their brain a second time after the exercises. The researchers discovered regions in both hemispheres of the brain were engaged when gratitude was expressed. Specifically, the medial prefrontal cortex, Now, this is the area of the brain that's connected to relational bonding, generating meaning, and emotional perception. The results of this research showed gratitude had the same effect on the brain as when a major stress has been relieved. What this means then is that beyond neurological health, gratitude also leads to greater social, emotional, and spiritual health. Now, here's why I say that. When we practice gratitude and our brain responds, then in everyday life we will see, according to psychologist Robert Emmons, who has studied gratitude and its effects, according to him, we would see people who experience positive emotions more often, enjoy a greater satisfaction with life, and those who have more hope. And if there's anything our world needs more of, it is hope. Those who practice gratitude also experience less depression, less anxiety, and less envy. Highly grateful individuals tend to be more empathetic, forgiving, helpful, and supportive, as well as less focused on material pursuits. Gratitude has the power to create in us greater contentment and less desire to consume, more appreciation for what we have been given versus an attitude of entitlement. It leads us to greater joy for others and gives us greater awareness of what we have instead of a scarcity mentality believing we don't have enough. In other words, giving thanks in all circumstances is good for us at the neural level, the emotional, physical, and spiritual level, and good for our relationships. And this is good for our world. One author writes about the need for people to practice gratitude for the sake of the world. She recognizes there's much to be done for the healing of our world, and we could proceed out of angry desperation, but the tasks proceed with greater love and more ease and more productively, with a measure of thankfulness for life. This is the open secret of gratitude. It's not dependent on external circumstance. It's a stance of the soul. Gratitude is liberating, it's subversive. It's an act of defiance in a world so often filled with cynicism. So, if this is the case, then exactly how do we practice gratitude? One thing I'm resolving not to say is that it will get better when, because it may not get better. And that is a hard truth. Some things do not get better with time. Sometimes he doesn't come home. Sometimes she doesn't beat her addiction. Sometimes there is not a new job. Sometimes the finances don't improve. There are times when what we long for never shows up. In the midst of these struggles, in the midst of the struggles in my life, in my family, in our church, I have taken the steps to say, thank God. And at times it's been through gritted teeth and balled fists, but I still practice the discipline. And the more I say it, even if I don't mean it at first, the words, the act, the practice, the discipline, it sinks in little by little. Maybe you're experiencing a strained relationship. Well, you could write down what you're thankful for regarding that person. Maybe you're in a job that's not ideal, but maybe you could make a list of what you are grateful for in your workplace. Your circumstances may not change, but gratitude has the power to change you in the midst of your circumstances. Another thing I practice is in the moments that I feel stressed or anxious, anytime I feel less than positive emotions, I repeat two words over and over. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's my centering prayer. And it leads my head and my heart to a different place. And within minutes, the stress and the anxiety and the negativity fade away. Another practice my family and I began doing last year is something that we do when we're eating dinner together. We have a journal with the word thanks scribbled on the front. We open it up and we take turns and go around the table and share what we are thankful for. And then we write those things down. Sometimes we laugh, sometimes it feels mundane, and other times we're in tears at the sheer beauty of the life we have been given because we see it in a new way simply by taking time to say thank you. Whatever the practice looks like for you, make it your goal to write down 10 things a day and then share it with friends and with family. It's possible this discipline will center us and root us in all we have. And this is my hope for all of you, my friends, that you would learn the secret to contentment, hope, joy, compassion lies in the simple practice of gratitude found in the words, thank you. So may you practice saying those words. May you give thanks in all circumstances, so that you will become deeply connected to all you have been given, and see you have enough, and you are enough. And in all of this, may you become a greater witness of all our good God has given to us in this world.